right now because when I was a little girl, we grew up, we came to Silver Dollar City all the time. When I was finally brave enough, the first roller coaster I ever rode was Thunderation, right here. I mean, it is the coolest. Backwards or forwards, great ride. I love Silver Dollar City. And then I finally got old enough to be in youth group where we got to come to Young Christians Weekend every single year, which is amazing. And I love Young Christians Weekend. For those of you who are fortunate enough to come to Silver Dollar City and come to Young Christians Weekend, like 2 separate trips, you might understand what I say when I say that. It's just different, right? Like Young Christians Weekend, the people around you are crazy. Yeah, the people around you are weird and loud. Yeah? Are we all in agreement on this? I mean, yeah, see? I told you. You're not doing a good job in your case here. For example, yesterday I was in line for powder keg, and I was with my brother and my sister and my brother-in-law and my niece, and we were sharing 2 funnel cakes, and I was eating the lion's share, don't worry. And the group behind us, they kept asking us about our funnel cakes. And they kept saying, where'd you get those? What kind of toppings are those? How much are they? They were like so pumped about these funnel cakes. And when we were kind of finished with them, rather than throw them away, I thought, well, I'll just ask them. And so I said, hey, do y'all want our leftover slobbery funnel cakes? Y'all, they took both of them. And they devoured them like little tiny vultures. That is not normal. What is the first thing you learn when you're a kid? Don't take food or candy from strangers, right? But at Young Christians Weekend, everything is okay because we're all crazy and we all eat after each other and it's totally fine. But I love this place. When I was 15 years old, I remember coming here, and I remember, first of all, that year was awful in the sense that it was so cold. There was ice where you're sitting right now. I'm not kidding. I can't make that up. Ice. And when I was 15, I went to a seminar, and Joe White was speaking about purity. And I listened to everything that he said, and then he brought his smoking hot sun out to the center of the stage. And he had a guitar, and he played a song about a wedding. And I was swooning. I leaned over to my friend Kelly Slater, and I said, Kelly, I am going to marry Brady White. 15 years old. Eyes on the prize. And so a few years later had gone by, and my aunt invited me to Young Christians Weekend to be a chaperone. So then I got to be in charge of all you hooligan crazies. And she introduced me to the Brady White. And that weekend, I batted my eyes more than I ever had before, and I pulled out all the stops to try to get him to like me. And it worked. Brady and I have been married for 7 years now, and it's thanks. Really, nothing I did. Brady deserves all of that. But it's been so fun. And I think I love Young Christians Weekend in Silver Dollar City for a multitude of reasons. One reason, I met my husband here. But I love theme parks. There's something about them, right? Like the food, the smells, the people, it's just fun. And it was a huge deal when I was a little girl. I grew up in Illinois. And it was a big deal when my parents came to my siblings and I and said that we were going to go to Disney World for the first time. Disney World in Florida. This was huge. And I was so excited. It was 3 o'clock, and we were at Magic Kingdom, and we were watching the parade come down from the castle. And I remember holding my daddy's hand as the floats came by, and there were these girls in these big dresses, and they were waving to everyone. And I remember I was holding my daddy's hand, and I looked up to him, and I said, Dad, that's what I want to do when I grow up. That's what I want to be. And I'm sure at that point, nightmares came over my father, thinking, I will be paying her bills the rest of her life. She has, what are these goals and dreams? But at that moment, I fell in love with Disney. And I remember Brady full well knew all of this going into it, how much I love Disney. I remember telling him, baby, my heart, it is shaped like Mickey Mouse. I bleed pixie dust. I love pixie dust. I love all the Disney characters. I love visiting Disney World. It's just my favorite. And so when it should come to no surprise that I went down into his office one day and I said, Brady, what would you think about us moving somewhere where I could work at Disney World? And he said, well, let's pray about that. That's Brady's answer to everything. And I said, okay. And he said, listen, if we do that, just so you know, I will never, under any circumstance, ever live in Florida. Because it is hot. He had something to do with mosquitoes that he didn't like, and he just didn't want anything to do with Florida. And so I was like, okay, well, we could pray about maybe moving to Disneyland in California. And so that's what we did. We started praying and praying and praying, and I really felt like the Lord was saying, okay, let's do it. And so I went down to Brady's office, and I asked him, I said, listen, we've been praying about this. What do you think? And he said, okay. So I started calling Disneyland. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. At 8 o'clock, I'd wake up, and I'd get on the phone, and I'd introduce myself, and I'd say, I'm going to work at Disneyland. And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, for many weeks, every single day they said, yeah, we know. You've called us before, and we're not hiring. Every single time, we're not hiring. But I wanted to be there so badly. I love magic. I love this place. I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to dance. I wanted a spotlight. I wanted a ball gown. I wanted to wave. Like, I could not wait to get there. And so I convinced Brady that we should move to California without any jobs. For those of you that are teenagers, this is not a good idea. Because I thought, okay, all I need to do is just get to Disneyland, and then they're going to want me. Because then they'll meet me, and they'll see how magical I am, and how ready I am to perform, and how excited I'll be for all of our guests, and they're going to want me, obviously, right? And Brady said, okay, so I convinced him, and we went. And so that first Monday, I woke up, and I went to the casting office, and I knocked on the door. And I said, I'm here, and I'm ready to work, and I'm so excited, and I can't wait to make magic. And they said, oh, sweetie, we're not hiring right now. And I said, that's okay. I'll be back. And I went in my car, and I cried. And I didn't muster up the courage on Tuesday or Wednesday to go back. But on Thursday, I woke up, and I went back to the casting office, and I said, my name's Jennafer, and I want to make magic, and I want to work for Disneyland. And again, they said, we're not hiring. So I went back in my car and I cried again. And I did that every Monday and Thursday for 6 weeks. Till finally, on the 6th Thursday, I went in, and there was a man named Enrique working that day. And I remember he put both of his hands on the counter, and he kind of leaned over. Because by this time, I mean, we're on a first-name basis. We're buddies. And he said, Jennafer, what if I got you an interview today? I said, Enrique, I would have to do everything in my power to not cry in front of you right this moment. So we did. He got me an interview. And I got to go in, and I sat down, and I sat across from this woman named Candace. And as I was walking into the room, I was thinking about those 6 weeks. And y'all, I know that 6 weeks is not a lifetime, believe me, but I'm a very dramatic person. So 6 weeks might as well have been a lifetime. And I remember, as I was walking in, I was like, Lord, why couldn't you just have done this right away? Like, what on earth? Why all the hubbub and the waiting? What were you doing? Like, I just couldn't see what he was trying to teach me, or what I was supposed to be learning at that time. And I walked in, and I sat down across from Miss Candace. And it got to the point of the interview where she said, Jennafer, what do you want to do for Disneyland? And 6 weeks prior, I probably would have busted out a jazz square, a few jazz hands, and said something about, give me a spotlight, give me a ball gown, I'm ready, I want to perform. And it was like the Lord just like let this weight down saying, hey, here's what it was. Because when she asked me that question, what God had taught me through those 6 weeks was to just be grateful. And I remember I looked across her desk and I said, Miss Candace, if you need me to shine your shoes right now, I'll shine them so they sparkle more than you did the day you took them out of the box. Or if you want me to vacuum your office here, I'll vacuum it so there's not a speck of dust left in this place. Or if you need me to go across the hall with a toothbrush and clean those toilets, I will do that gladly, and I will smile. I'll smile so big I might even start singing. I'll be so happy. Just let me make magic. I'm excited. And she said, Jennafer, I have just the thing for you. She said, what about if you worked in our food and beverage department? Yeah, she basically offered me a job at McDonald's, just so we are all on the same page here. And I said, yes, ma'am, that is perfect. Y'all, I could not wait. I could not wait to go to the little costume building and get the worst outfit possible with pants that came up to here and a huge shirt that was awful, didn't fit anyone. I could not wait to put on this smelly old apron that I know had been worn by 500 people before me. I could not wait. I got to wake up in the morning and I got to sell corn dogs, chicken nuggets, French fries, funnel cakes that I love so much, obviously, barbecue. I had so much fun. When you would come to my line to get a corn dog, just know that you weren't just going to get a corn dog. Number one, you'd get this personality. But you'd get a corn dog and pixie dust. And I could not wait. I loved working in that food and beverage department because the Lord had taught me to be so grateful during those 6 weeks. And I remember one time I was working really late at night, and this man came to my line. And we were talking and having fun, and he was placing his order, and he said, Jennafer, have you ever thought about working in Disney's entertainment department? And I played it super uncool. And I said, sir, every single day of my life. And he said, listen, he took out a business card and he scribbled it on the back and he slid it to me and he said, I just wrote down a number. I want you to wake up tomorrow morning and call that number and tell them that I sent you. And I remember when I put it in my little apron pocket, I remember thinking, who is this guy? And is he a big deal? Because if he is, then this is awesome. And I went home and I was telling Brady, and Brady said, well, let's Google his name. Let's see. And so we Googled it, and I found out that on that day, the Lord had put the vice president of Disneyland Entertainment in my line to buy a corn dog. Corn dog, John. In the dream come true. Now, wait a minute. I don't have the job yet. Don't get too excited. Okay, so I wake up the next morning and I call that number and I book a audition for the next day. And I go in and they have a script waiting for me and they start taking pictures of my face like really close that no one should ever see. And they have me read and I stumble over words and they have to keep having me start over because I was so bad at it. And I thought, this is awesome. This is awesome. I'm doing horrible, but this is awesome. And I remember as I was leaving, I turned back to the lady, her name is Amy, and I said, Miss Amy, I need you to know something before I leave. It doesn't matter what happens from this point on. Just know that I had the best time here today. This was so fun. Thank you. And I was getting ready to leave. She said, hey, Jennafer, you know that this audition was for Walt Disney World in Florida, right? Oh, yeah, girl. Oh, yeah, I knew that. That is not brand new information. Totally knew that the whole time I was here. I did not. And I walked out and I thought, oh, my gosh, Brady is going to Not only had I just moved my family, me, Brady, and our small Yorkie Poo dog, from Missouri to California, but now I just auditioned for a theme park located all the way across the nation in a state that he promised me he would never live in. Maybe not the Wife of the Year award to go to me. And I called him and I said, Brady, I think I just auditioned for Florida. And he said, well, that's okay. We'll just see once it happens, we'll just figure it out. Brady is so calm and cool and collected. He's everything that I probably should be. And sure enough, within hours, I got a phone call. And it was a Florida number. And they wanted me. They wanted my freckles, and they wanted my clumsy self. And I called Brady, and I said, Brady, they want me. It's my dream job. Like, what are we going to do? And Brady said, let's pray about it for a little bit. And I went back, and I sold corn dogs that day, and I was so grateful for corn dogs. And I remember I was just praying, Lord, open my heart and my eyes to whatever adventure you have set for us, whether it be to stay in California or go to Florida. Let me be grateful to say thank you today. And when I got home that day from work, I walked in, and as soon as I opened the door, I saw a big, giant pile of U-Haul boxes with a big red bug. And Brady said, hey, let's go on an adventure. And we did. And we moved to Florida, Brady's worst, least, not cool favorite state. and we moved there, and we've lived there for 4 years, and I think Brady doesn't hate it as much as he thought it would. I like to tell myself that. And it's been so fun. I love Disney World today just as much as I did when I was a little girl. It's been a blast, and I get to live my 5-year-old little girl dream every single day. Getting to bring Disney characters to life for our guests is something that is such a huge privilege that I'm honored to get to do. But it's also been extremely funny. Because when these kids wait in line to meet a Disney character, I think they pump them full of like 100 cc's of crazy. Because by the time they get up to someone, they're just weird. And they're crazy. I mean, one time I was walking up to this little boy, and he had his arms out like this, and he said, girl, smell me. This is a 6-year-old boy. If a 6-year-old boy has his armpits exposed and tells you to smell him, please proceed with caution. So I went over, and I bent down, and I smelled him. And he did. He smelled pretty good. And I told him that. And he said, oh, thanks. I rubbed a magazine all over me before you got here. Another little girl was talking to Sleeping Beauty. She's the one that's all in pink. And she pulled Sleeping Beauty's collar down so that they could be nose to nose. And she said, psst, Sleeping Beauty, do you know you've been in every single nightmare I've ever had? One little boy walked up to Cinderella and he said, Cinderella, I bought your movie on Blu-ray. And I just wanted you to know, you be looking good in that high def. These are future Prince Charmings, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, it's been so funny. I have doubled over with laughter many a times because I get to talk to these crazy, crazy kids. But there's one day that I went to work that when the makeup comes off and the ball gown's done and my time is over, I'll remember this day. They had me and these 2 other girls come in pretty early, and we were sitting on the couch and we were getting ready to start the day, and a few managers walked in, and they said that we were going to meet a little girl who was very, very, very special. This little girl was born in Iowa, and doctors believe that ever since she was born, she's never been able to hear a single word. She's been completely deaf her entire life. Up until now, she's 4 years old. And this university in Texas, they found out about this sweet little Sarah. And they contacted her parents, and they asked her and him, her parents, if they could possibly do a procedure and an operation on Sarah that might possibly give her the gift of hearing. It was a risky procedure. They didn't know if it was going to take. My manager said that it took a couple months for the parents to decide to go through with it. And by the time that they said yes, there was so much hubbub and so much excitement and so much anticipation to see if it was going to work that the Make-A-Wish Foundation found out about it. And Make-A-Wish came to Sarah and they said, Sarah, if you were able to hear, what would you want the first thing you're able to hear to be? She said, I want to hear the Disney princesses speak to me. And this morning, so early that there's not anyone else in Magic Kingdom, there was a little 4-year-old girl named Sarah. And she was just head to toe in Tinkerbell. She was going to find her princesses. And she stood, there's this long hallway and it kind of curves at the end, and she was standing right there waiting. And as soon as she rounded the corner, those double doors at the end of the hallway opened. And there stood her heroes, Cinderella, Belle, and Sleeping Beauty. And as soon as she saw them, she ran, sprinted, so fast that her little wings clipped together in the back, and she ran all the way up, and she immediately grabbed Sleeping Beauty's hand. And she held it so tight. And we all sat down, the 4 of us together, and we had an imaginary tea party right there. And on that day, I got to hold sweet little Sarah's head in my hands. And I got to tell her how unbelievably beautiful she was. And she heard every single word. And then I got to hold her hand, and I got to walk her over, and I got to watch her hear her parents speak for the first time. I got to watch this family communicate. It was incredible. And as I was preparing and thinking about standing here in the same place where I was when I was a teenager, the Lord kept bringing to mind sweet little Sarah to me. And I feel like He was telling me that so often we can't hear because we allow the world to say so many things to us and it distorts our hearing. Everyone, just close your eyes for a second and think about the things that you've been hearing recently. All of the lies in the world that are telling you that you're not good enough, that you'll never make it, that you don't look like the magazines, that you'll never be a starter on the team. All of those lies. And I invite you in this moment to take the earmuffs off, to take the headphones out of your ears and listen to the truth. Y'all, open your eyes. And for a moment, you get to be for your great Savior. I want you to become her, and I want you to be standing at the end of the hallway, and you see double doors at the end. And those double doors are about to open. And when they do, it's not going to be Cinderella, and it's not going to be your best friend, It's not going to be your boyfriend or your girlfriend. It's not going to be how many Instagram likes you get or how many hashtags you've created. It's not going to be how much fame or success, no matter how little or small you've had. None of that will be there. But Jesus Christ, the man who died for you and your sins, is going to stand there. And he's going to tell you the truth. I invite you to walk up to him and listen and hear him say, I'm proud of you. You can do it. I love you. Hang in there. You're my daughter. You're my son. Take off the earmuffs of the world and listen to our Savior. Y'all run as fast as you can through those double doors and reach your hand up and grab his hand so tight. And I pray that you will never want to let go of that.
So there was a boy in our camp last summer named Drew. He was the Sarah of our sports camps. He was a great quarterback, 17 years old, could throw strikes, could throw the long bomb. But Drew was like Sarah. The earphones were in his head. His earphones were fear and sadness. And his heart had been broken again and again. Drew was about 6'3", had a precious little puppy face. But he was so angry inside. His little brother had gotten run over by his adopted dad when he was 7 and killed. 4 of his best friends had been killed in the last 2 years. His real father disowned him, told him he didn't want to see him again. Drew had built this silo around his heart, like little Sarah's little ear coverings over ears. He couldn't hear the voice of God at all. In fact, he was so angry with God. So he's at our sports camps. His counselor was pouring out his heart for him in a counselor meeting one morning. 50 college athletes on our staff at this teenage camp that I get to do. And his story broke my heart. His counselor said, Drew's angry, Drew's mad. Drew doesn't want to come to the cross. He doesn't want to hold Jesus' hand. And I said, bring him by my office at 10:30. Let me just talk to Drew. I happened to be his coach. I was the football coach, and Drew was our 7-on-7 quarterback. And so I coached Drew that morning, and after practice, Drew came down to my house with his counselor. And y'all, for 45 minutes, Drew took off the headphones. For 45 minutes, Drew walked down that carpet that Jennafer was talking about. After 45 minutes of Drew just telling me his story and crying through his years of sadness and disappointment, Drew just fell. His head just fell into my chest. And Drew began to cry. And he wept in my chest for 15 minutes. And then Drew looked up at me. And Drew said, I'm ready. And Drew opened up his heart, and he did what Jennafer was saying. He reached up and he took Jesus by the hand. And Drew gave his life to Christ. And then he looked at me and smiled with these beautiful eyes. And he said, I've never felt peace in my life, but I feel it today. Again that afternoon, I went to find Drew to see how he was doing. I found him in front of our dining hall out there at our camps on Table Rock. And I said, Drew, are you okay? And he said, I've never felt like this before in my life. He said, finally, I'm happy. And I said, Drew, I need to tell you, there were 50 guys praying for you. Our men's director, Shay, had told all the counselors to set their watches at 10:30 when I was talking to Drew. And I said, Drew, everybody set their watches. I said, while we were talking, 50 guys were praying for you. And he said, that is the craziest thing. He said, Joe, while we were praying, he said, I saw an army of 50 soldiers pushing me back into the battlefield. And so for all the Drews out there, because probably there's a little bit of Drew in all of us. For everybody that's a little bit of Drew out there, a little bit of little Sarah, Last night when Jennafer told me the story, I sat and I wrote this. Perhaps I wrote it for you. It's called If You Only Knew. There's a little girl who's crying inside, a heart that's been broken again. There's a shattered dream that's been dying inside, the place where her hope has always been. There's a boy who's crossed the line in the sand. He swore he'd never transgress. There's a doubt in his mind where his future was planned that continues to fail and regress. There's a question in the soul of every boy and girl as they ponder their value and worth. A sense of wonder inside every kid in the world. Will this seed of love ever give birth? And yes, there's a steady voice in the heart of the storm that quiets the spirit of the wind. The reassuring picture where hope is reborn of a crucified Savior and friend. If you only knew the depth of my love as I died, I've called out your name. If you only recognize the voice from above that beckons your heart. Once again, it wasn't the nails that held me to the cross. It was love. Overwhelmingly compelling. It was you that I gained, not my life that I lost. For the day in your heart I'd be dwelling. I called out your name to the Father above as the thief who beside me was received. From the beginning of time, your life I have loved. At the inception of the moment you believed. The stripes on my back and the spear in my side and the wounds of the Roman crucifixion. Your eternity I won in the death that I died. Your healing in every wound and affliction. If you only knew as you take up my hand and surrender your life to my keeping. If you only knew of your future I have planned and my comfort for the tears you're weeping. That you'd hear me in every song that is sung from the worship in your church every morning. You'd hear me in every church bell that is rung. A reminder that your heart is reborn. You'd hear me in every chapter and line, every page in your Bible I abide. If you'd love me with all of your heart, your mind, and let me come live deep inside. As I'm praying, as I sit at my Father's right hand, in the moment you remember me today, that you'll trust me with the rest of your life I have planned in your heart where forever I'll stay. Will you give me your old heart with all of its fear, every wound, every hurt and affliction? Will you walk close beside me and always draw near and promise with fullest conviction? Then I'll seal with my spirit salvation in your soul. I'll leave you nor forsake you, not ever. As my cross and my scriptures become your new goal, we will walk hand in hand for forever. I know a boy in this arena today, here today, as a little kid. He grew up rejected again and again by his friends. He was bullied in his home. He was the little brother of 3. And all he knew was being bullied. His friends bullied him. He was a little shrimp. Girls would always turn their heads when they'd see him walk by. And he was abused by a strange man when he was a little boy. I know that little boy really well. Because that little boy is me. And maybe that little boy is you. To some degree. And so for that little boy that's inside of me, and maybe is inside of some of you, for the little Sarah that's inside of some of you ladies, girls, I brought a little heart. It's a little jewel heart. It says promise kept. And I invite somebody in here who Jennafer's been speaking to, or perhaps I or the band, or probably more God than any of us, has been saying to you, it's time for a new heart. It's time to give your life away. And to take off the earphones and to slip up that carpet, as Jennafer said, and find Jesus standing there. The one who loved you enough to hang up there and call out your name. And to bleed drops of blood on every sin and every broken place in your life. So he can heal you, forgive you. And so I invite you, if God's been speaking to you today, just as we sing this little worship song, and as everybody else dismisses, I invite you to slip up here. And I'll be standing here, as will Jennafer and some of the guys in the band, with a handful of these little hearts that say promise kept. And we ask you to make a promise. As you give Jesus your old heart, say, Jesus, I'm done with that lifestyle. I'm not doing porn anymore. I'm done with that. I'm done with hating myself. I'm done with cutting. I'm done with bitterness toward my parents. I'm done with selling myself out to guys or to girls. All I want is to walk down that carpet and find you standing there. To be my dad, my Savior forever. If that's you, as you come, you just pray. Take out your old heart. Ask him for a new one. And he promises in John 1:12, that when you do that, he'll adopt you. He'll never leave you as long as you live, even to eternity. As everyone else leaves during these two little songs, you just slip on down here. We'll be waiting for you.
That's it. Okay. Sorry.